Ladies and gentlemen, as we stand at the dawn of 2025, I want to talk about something deeply personal and yet universal. A theme that has echoed within my own heart, and I believe it will resonate with each one of you today. It's simple yet profound. Focus only on yourself. In this world, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, in the expectations, and in the judgments of others. From social media to peer pressure, the world constantly tells us how we should look, what we should achieve, and who we should be. But I ask you, how many of us have truly stopped to listen to our own hearts, to reflect on our own dreams, to question what we truly want? In 2025, let's make a pact with ourselves. A pact to turn inward, to find our own voice amidst the chaos. It's time to break free from the chains of comparison, to release ourselves from the pressure of living up to someone else's idea of success. We're often told that our worth is determined by external factors. How much we have, what others think of us, how fast we climb the ladder of life. But I'm here to remind you that your worth, your strength, your power lies within you. It's in the way you rise after every fall, in the courage to be vulnerable, in the resilience to keep moving forward even when the road seems long and uncertain. This year, I challenge you to silence the voices that tell you who you should be, and instead embrace the beautiful, messy, unique person you already are. Focus on your mental well-being, nurture your creativity, celebrate your wins, no matter how small, and give yourself permission to rest when you need it. It's not selfish to put yourself first. It's an act of love, an act of survival. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So before you give your energy to anyone or anything else, give it to yourself first. Take care of your health, chase your passions, and most importantly, heal your wounds. It's okay to be imperfect. It's okay to not have everything figured out. The beauty of life lies in the journey, not in the destination. Every step you take towards self-love, towards understanding who you truly are, is a victory in itself. In 2025, I want you to look in the mirror and see someone who is worthy of every dream, every goal, and every chance at happiness. Embrace your flaws, cherish your scars, and let them be a reminder that you've survived, that you've learned, and that you are still here, standing tall, no matter what. So let's promise ourselves, this year we will focus only on becoming the best version of ourselves. Not because we are broken and need fixing, but because we are constantly growing, evolving, and becoming who we were always meant to be. This year, let's choose ourselves. Let's trust ourselves. Let's love ourselves. Embracing self-love and prioritizing your well-being is a transformative decision that changes everything. In today's fast-paced world where external validation is often seen as a marker of success, we forget the power of loving ourselves for who we are. It's easy to become consumed with the opinions of others, to measure our worth based on what people think or how we compare to others. But the truth is, the most important relationship we'll ever have is the one we have with ourselves. Self-love isn't about vanity or narcissism. It's about recognizing and accepting our own value. It's about giving ourselves the grace to be human, with all of our flaws and imperfections. In a world that demands constant performance and success, self-love is the act of pausing and honoring our humanity. It's the understanding that we are enough just as we are, without needing to prove anything to anyone. Too often, we allow the noise around us to dictate how we feel about ourselves. Social media, for instance, often creates an illusion of perfection, making us believe that our lives should look like the curated images we see online. This constant comparison breeds self-doubt, insecurity, and a feeling of inadequacy. When we focus on others, we lose sight of our own worth. But self-love requires us to quiet that noise, to stop looking for external approval, and to recognize that our worth is not determined by likes, comments, or others' opinions. It also involves being kind to ourselves, especially in times of failure or struggle. Many of us are our own harshest critics. We judge ourselves too quickly, focusing only on our mistakes and shortcomings. But self-love teaches us to treat ourselves with the same kindness and compassion we would offer to a close friend. We all make mistakes. That's part of the process of growth. It's important to learn from those mistakes, but it's equally important to forgive ourselves and move forward with a sense of self-compassion. Taking time to prioritize your well-being is essential in nurturing self-love. We live in a culture that often values productivity over peace, success over self-care, and hustle over rest. We wear busyness like a badge of honor, but neglecting our own well-being can lead to burnout and exhaustion. When we focus on taking care of ourselves, physically, mentally, and emotionally, we are investing in our ability to show up fully in our lives. This means setting boundaries, saying no when needed, and making time for activities that nourish our soul. It might be something as simple as taking a walk in nature, practicing mindfulness, or just having a quiet moment to ourselves. Self-love also means understanding and accepting our emotions, even the difficult ones. It's easy to push our feelings aside, especially the uncomfortable ones like anger, sadness, or fear. We might feel the pressure to be happy all the time, to show the world that we've got it all together. But self-love encourages us to feel our emotions fully, without judgment. We give ourselves permission to experience life in all its complexities, knowing that emotions are just a part of the human experience. To truly love ourselves, we must also stop seeking validation from others. It's natural to want recognition or praise for our achievements, but relying on others to define our worth can lead to a constant cycle of seeking approval. The moment we begin to validate ourselves, we free ourselves from the need for external affirmation. We start to make choices based on our own values and desires, rather than trying to meet the expectations of others. This shift in mindset creates a sense of empowerment, as we realize that our worth is inherent and doesn't require approval from anyone else. Self-love isn't a one-time decision, but a daily practice. It's a journey, not a destination. It's about making conscious choices to nurture our mind, body, and soul every single day. Some days may be harder than others, and that's okay. The key is to remain committed to ourselves, to keep showing up for ourselves, and to remember that we are worthy of love, care, and respect. Always. Breaking free from external expectations and living authentically is one of the most liberating and empowering choices we can make. In a world where we are constantly bombarded with societal pressures, the urge to conform can be overwhelming, whether it's expectations about career success, physical appearance, relationships, or lifestyle choices. Many of us find ourselves trying to live up to standards set by others. But what if we decided to break away from these pressures and focus on what truly matters to us? What if we chose to live life on our own terms, instead of following a blueprint created by someone else? External expectations often come from a place of societal norms, family expectations, or peer influence. From a young age, we are taught what success looks like, what is acceptable, and what is considered normal. These definitions are often shaped by external forces rather than our own values, passions, or desires. The result is that many of us end up pursuing paths that may not align with who we truly are. We follow a script that doesn't fit, hoping that by meeting these expectations, we will find fulfillment or happiness. But in reality, we may feel trapped in a cycle that leaves us unfulfilled, anxious, and disconnected from our true selves. Living authentically is about being in touch with our inner selves, understanding our core values, and aligning our actions with those values. It's about questioning the societal norms that we've been conditioned to follow and deciding for ourselves what feels right. It's the courage to say no to things that don't resonate with us, and yes to the things that ignite our passion. When we begin to prioritize our own needs, desires, and beliefs, we take back control of our lives and empower ourselves to live with intention. One of the most challenging aspects of breaking free from external expectations is overcoming the fear of judgment. We live in a world that is quick to label, criticize, and offer unsolicited advice. The fear of not meeting societal standards can be paralyzing. We fear that if we don't follow the rules, we will be rejected or misunderstood. But living authentically requires us to embrace vulnerability and face the discomfort of not fitting into a predetermined mold. It means accepting that we may not be liked by everyone, and that's okay. What matters is that we are being true to ourselves. Living authentically also means embracing imperfection. Many of us try to portray a perfect image to the world, believing that we must appear flawless to be worthy of acceptance or success. But authenticity lies in being real, in accepting our flaws and embracing them. It's about showing up as our whole selves without pretending to be someone we're not. The more we allow ourselves to be authentic, the more we invite others to do the same. It creates a ripple effect of honesty and vulnerability, fostering deeper and more meaningful connections. It's important to recognize that living authentically doesn't mean rejecting all external influences. We can still learn from others, seek advice, and value the opinions of those we respect. However, the key is that we must use these influences as a source of guidance, not as a blueprint for our lives. We must always filter external advice through the lens of our own values and beliefs. If something aligns with who we are, we can incorporate it. If not, we have the freedom to let it go. The journey toward living authentically is not always easy. It requires self-awareness, self-reflection, and a willingness to let go of societal expectations. It involves making tough choices like changing careers, ending toxic relationships, or pursuing passions that may not be understood by others. But with each decision, we move closer to living a life that is true to ourselves. We start to experience the joy that comes with pursuing our own dreams, not the dreams that others have for us. Living authentically also means giving ourselves permission to change. We are constantly evolving, and what may have once felt right may no longer resonate with us. Authenticity is not a static state. It's a dynamic process of continuous growth and self-discovery. It's the freedom to reinvent ourselves and to be okay with that process. It's understanding that our worth isn't tied to staying the same. It's tied to our ability to remain true to who we are at every stage of our journey. Focusing on healing and nurturing your inner strength is an essential part of personal growth and well-being. Life can be challenging, and many of us carry emotional scars from past experiences. Whether it's from childhood trauma, heartbreak, disappointment, or loss, these experiences shape who we are, often in ways we don't even realize. But healing isn't just about moving on from the past. It's about understanding how those experiences have impacted us, learning to accept them, and finding ways to use them as stepping toward becoming the strongest version of ourselves. Healing begins with acknowledging the hurt. Many of us are taught to push through pain, to keep moving forward, to be strong by ignoring our emotions. However, suppressing our feelings doesn't allow for true healing. In fact, it can lead to emotional numbness or even physical illness. Healing starts with the willingness to face our pain, to sit with it, and to give ourselves permission to feel whatever comes up. It's in this space of vulnerability that we begin to understand the depth of our emotions and their impact on our lives. Once we acknowledge the pain, the next step is to accept it. This doesn't mean that we condone the hurtful actions or situations that cause the pain, but it means that we allow ourselves to release the grip it has on us. Acceptance is a powerful act of self-compassion. It's about recognizing that while we cannot change the past, we can control how we choose to move forward. Acceptance allows us to let go of the resentment, the anger, and the bitterness that often accompany pain. It frees us from the cycle of constantly reliving the past and opens up space for healing to occur. Healing also involves forgiveness. This can be one of the most difficult aspects, as it often requires us to forgive those who have wronged us, as well as ourselves. Forgiveness is not about excusing bad behavior or pretending that nothing happened. It's about releasing the emotional weight that we carry by holding on to resentment or guilt. When we forgive, we are no longer bound by the actions of others or our own mistakes. We give ourselves permission to move forward without the burden of anger or regret. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, not the person we forgive. In addition to emotional healing, it's essential to nurture our inner strength. Inner strength is a foundation upon which we build resilience, confidence, and courage. It's the ability to keep going even when the path seems unclear or difficult. Nurturing our inner strength means tapping into our own resources and realizing that we have the power within us to overcome obstacles. This power comes from within, not from external sources. It's the voice inside us that reminds us that we are capable of more than we often give ourselves credit for. To nurture our inner strength, we must learn to trust ourselves. Trusting ourselves means having the confidence to make decisions that are in alignment with our values and desires, even if they go against the grain or make us uncomfortable. It's about cultivating self-belief and understanding that we have the ability to handle whatever challenges life throws our way. Trusting ourselves also means accepting that we don't have all the answers and that it's okay to make mistakes. Mistakes are not failures. They're opportunities to learn and grow. Another crucial aspect of nurturing inner strength is setting healthy boundaries. Many of us struggle with saying no, whether it's to other people's demands or to situations that drain us. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. They protect our emotional energy and ensure that we are not giving too much of ourselves to others at the expense of our own well-being. When we set boundaries, we communicate to ourselves that we are worthy of respect and that our needs matter. This is a powerful affirmation of our inner strength. Finally, nurturing our inner strength involves practicing self-care. Self-care isn't just about pampering ourselves. It's about taking care of our mental, emotional, and physical well-being on a daily basis. It's about creating a routine that supports our overall health, whether it's through exercise, meditation, rest, or simply taking time to do something we love. When we prioritize self-care, we replenish our energy, clear our minds, and strengthen our capacity to deal with life's challenges. It's an act of self-love and an essential component of maintaining inner strength. Healing and nurturing our inner strength are ongoing processes. It's not something that happens overnight, nor is it a destination to reach. It's a continual practice of self-awareness, self-compassion, and self-empowerment. By committing to our own healing and inner growth, we lay the foundation for a life filled with resilience, peace, and purpose. Celebrating your progress, no matter how small, is a practice that is often overlooked in the pursuit of bigger goals or achievements. In a world that often focuses on results and external recognition, it's easy to forget the importance of acknowledging our own journey, the steps we take every day, and the growth that happens behind the scenes. Too often, we get caught up in the idea that success is defined only by major milestones or grand accomplishments. But the truth is, every step forward, no matter how small, is significant and worthy of celebration. When we fail to recognize our progress, we risk falling into the trap of constantly feeling like we're not doing enough. We start to measure our worth by what we have yet to achieve, rather than by what we've already done. This mindset can lead to feelings of inadequacy, frustration, and burnout. We might think that we're not good enough or that we're falling behind, even when we're making progress in ways that are less visible to the outside world. This is why it's essential to pause, reflect, and celebrate even the smallest victories along the way. Celebrating your progress is about taking time to recognize the effort you've put in, the challenges you've overcome, and the growth that has taken place, no matter how incremental it may seem. Every action you take, every moment of perseverance, every lesson learned is a testament to your strength, resilience, and dedication. It's easy to forget that progress is not always linear, and setbacks or obstacles don't negate the steps forward. Often it's the small, consistent actions that build up over time and create lasting change. We live in a society that often glorifies instant results and quick fixes, but real growth is a process that unfolds gradually. That you're working on personal development, a career goal, or a creative project, the path to success rarely looks like a straight line. There are ups and downs, periods of doubt, moments of frustration, and times when it feels like you're not making progress at all. But when you take the time to look back and reflect on how far you've come, you realize that every small effort has contributed to your growth in ways you may not have noticed in the moment. The act of celebrating progress is also an act of self-confirmation. It's a reminder that you are worthy of recognition, even if it doesn't come from others. Many of us wait for external validation, whether from family, friends, or colleagues, to feel that our efforts are worthwhile. However, waiting for others to recognize your progress can often leave you feeling overlooked or underappreciated. By celebrating your own achievements, you take control of your narrative and affirm your worth based on your own standards, not someone else's. It reinforces the belief that you are enough, just as you are, and that your progress is valuable regardless of how others perceive it. One of the most powerful ways to celebrate progress is through gratitude. Gratitude allows us to shift our focus from what we lack or what's not going right to what we've already accomplished. It helps us recognize the small victories that might otherwise go unnoticed. When you practice gratitude, you begin to appreciate the journey rather than only focusing on the destination. This shift in perspective can transform the way you approach challenges and setbacks, as you learn to see them as part of the process, rather than as obstacles standing in the way of your success. Celebrating progress also cultivates motivation and encourages you to keep going. When you acknowledge how far you've come, you build momentum that propels you forward. It's easy to lose sight of your goals when you're only looking at the distance left to cover. But when you celebrate the progress you've made, it reignites your sense of purpose and reminds you why you started in the first place. This practice of recognition creates a positive feedback loop that encourages you to take the next step, knowing that each effort brings you closer to your ultimate goal. Moreover, celebrating your progress fosters a sense of self-compassion. It's easy to be hard on yourself when you feel like you're not achieving enough or making rapid progress. But celebrating even the small victories allows you to approach yourself with kindness and understanding. It's a reminder that you're human and growth takes time. By acknowledging your progress, you honor the effort and dedication you've put into your journey, and you allow yourself to feel proud of the work you've done. In a world that often prioritizes constant achievement and success, taking the time to celebrate your progress is an act of radical self-love. It's a way of saying to yourself, I am doing the best I can, and that is enough. It's a way of shifting the focus from what's lacking to what's already been accomplished. And it helps you maintain a healthy, sustainable mindset as you continue on your journey toward your goals. Trusting the journey, not just the destination, is an essential principle for living a fulfilled and meaningful life. We often get fixated on the end goal, thinking that once we reach a specific milestone, whether it's a career achievement, a personal goal, or a life event, we will finally feel complete or successful. The belief that happiness and fulfillment lie only at the end of the journey can lead to dissatisfaction and constant striving. But when we shift our focus to trust the process, to embrace each step of the journey, we find that the path itself is just as valuable as the destination. In fact, the journey is where the growth, learning, and transformation truly happen. The idea of trusting the journey encourages us to let go of the need for certainty and control. Life is unpredictable, and despite our best efforts, we cannot always predict how things will unfold. Yet it's precisely in the uncertainty and unpredictability of life that we experience growth. Each challenge, setback, or unexpected turn on our journey offers us an opportunity to learn something new, to become stronger, and to build resilience. When we learn to trust that everything is unfolding as it's meant to, even if it doesn't look the way we envisioned, we free ourselves from the constant pressure to get there as quickly as possible. One of the most important aspects of trusting the journey is developing patience. We live in a society that glorifies speed and immediate results. We want things to happen now. Whether it's success in our careers, achieving personal goals, or even seeing changes in our lives, we want them to come quickly. But the most meaningful and lasting growth takes time. Patience allows us to appreciate the incremental steps we take toward our goals, rather than only focusing on the end result. It reminds us that progress is often slow and requires steady effort, and that's okay. With patience, we learn to savor the process, to appreciate the lessons along the way, and to understand that the destination will come in its own time. Trusting the journey also involves letting go of expectations. We all have ideas of how we want our lives to unfold, and sometimes we get so attached to those expectations that we forget to appreciate what we already have. Expectations can lead to frustration and disappointment when things don't turn out the way we imagined. When we release our rigid expectations and embrace the unknown, we allow ourselves to be open to new possibilities and experiences that we might not have considered before. The unexpected twists and turns that life presents often lead to the most meaningful and rewarding moments if we're open to them. An important part of trusting the journey is learning to stay present. We often get caught up in the past, thinking about what we could have done differently, or we become consumed with the future, worrying about what's to come. But the present moment is where life truly happens. By focusing on the here and now, we allow ourselves to fully experience each moment without the distraction of what ifs or what's next. Trusting the journey means giving ourselves permission to live in the present, to enjoy the process, and to engage fully with our surroundings and relationships. It's about finding joy in the everyday moments rather than waiting for a future event to bring us happiness. Furthermore, trusting the journey means recognizing that setbacks and failures are part of the process. It's easy to become discouraged when things don't go according to plan, but these moments are often where the most significant lessons are learned. Instead of seeing setbacks as obstacles or signs of failure, we can reframe them as opportunities to grow, to develop new skills, and to build resilience. Trusting the journey means accepting that challenges are a natural part of life and that they do not define us. What defines us is how we respond to those challenges, how we continue to move forward with determination and faith in the process. Trusting the journey also invites us to be kind to ourselves. It's easy to get frustrated or self-critical when things aren't going as planned, but self-compassion is crucial for maintaining our mental and emotional well-being. When we trust the journey, we recognize that we are doing the best we can, and that's enough. We give ourselves the grace to make mistakes, to take detours, and to learn from our experiences. By being gentle with ourselves and not demanding perfection, we create a mindset that allows us to enjoy the journey and find peace in the process, no matter where it leads us. Ultimately, trusting the journey is about embracing the unknown and surrendering the need to control every outcome. It's about having faith that life will unfold as it is meant to, and that every experience, whether it's joyful or challenging, is contributing to our growth and evolution. The journey itself is the most transformative part of our lives. And when we learn to trust it, we open ourselves up to a deeper sense of fulfillment and contentment. Choosing yourself and your happiness above all else is a powerful and often revolutionary decision. In a world that often prioritizes external expectations, social approval, and the needs of others, it can feel like an act of defiance to put yourself first. We are conditioned to think that self-sacrifice is noble and that our worth is defined by how much we give to others. However, the truth is that to live a life of fulfillment, peace, and joy, we must learn to choose ourselves consistently and unapologetically. This does not mean being selfish or neglecting the needs of others. Rather, it means recognizing that we cannot pour from an empty cup, and that our own happiness is not something to be sacrificed in the pursuit of others' approval or satisfaction. Choosing yourself begins with understanding that your needs, desires, and well-being are just as important as anyone else's. It's about acknowledging your own worth and giving yourself permission to take up space in your own life. Too often, we are taught to put others first, to silence our own desires in favor of meeting the expectations placed upon us by family, friends, society, or work. While it's important to be compassionate and caring toward others, it's equally important to recognize that we deserve that same level of care, attention, and love. When you choose yourself, you begin to prioritize your mental, emotional, and physical health. This means taking the time to listen to your body and mind, honoring your limits, and making choices that nourish you. In practice, this could look like setting boundaries that protect your time and anxiety and frustration. When you choose yourself, you release the need to conform to these external pressures and instead make decisions that align with your values, passions, and desires. You learn to trust your instincts and have the courage to walk your own unique path, even if it means stepping outside the comfort zone of what others expect. Choosing your happiness above all else means learning to prioritize joy, peace, and fulfillment. It's easy to get caught up in the demands of daily life, whether it's work, relationships, or responsibilities, and lose sight of what truly makes you happy. When you choose your happiness, you take the time to reflect on what brings you joy and make choices that support that joy. It might mean choosing a career that aligns with your passions rather than one that brings you the most money or prestige. It might mean nurturing relationships that lift you up and support your growth while distancing yourself from toxic dynamics that drain your energy. Choosing happiness is about being intentional with how you spend your time and energy, ensuring that you're investing in things that bring you joy rather than things that simply add stress or dissatisfaction. It also means embracing the idea that happiness is not a destination but a journey. Many of us fall into the trap of thinking that we will be happy once we reach a certain goal or achieve a specific outcome. But happiness is not tied to a single moment in time. It is a state of being that we create every day through the choices we make. When you choose your happiness, you commit to finding moments of joy in everyday life, no matter how small. Whether it's taking a walk in nature, spending time with loved ones, or simply enjoying a quiet cup of coffee in the morning, choosing happiness is about appreciating the present moment and finding contentment in the here and now. Choosing yourself is not always easy. It can feel uncomfortable, especially if you've spent years prioritizing the needs of others or living for external validation. There may be guilt, fear, or resistance that arises when you begin to prioritize your own happiness. But it's important to understand that this discomfort is a sign of growth. As you begin to choose yourself more and more, you'll notice that you become more aligned with your true desires, more confident in your decisions, and more at peace with who you are. Over time, you'll realize that when you make yourself a priority, you not only enhance your own life, but also create a more authentic, loving, and fulfilling relationship with those around you. Ultimately, choosing yourself and your happiness above all else is a revolutionary act of self-love and self-respect.